Hello, my name is Lucy and welcome to this video where I'm going to show you how to circuit base this cheap video enhancer you can easily find on the second-hand marketplace to make it an awesome glitch machine like this one to achieve effects like this. Here you can see the machines side to side. This one I haven't touched yet, and this one is a circuit bent one. And you can see I added some knobs here and also a patch bay. This project started while I was wandering on the web archive. I stumbled across this documentation about how to circuit bend this exact unit. So basically I used some of the same bend points that are in this documentation and found new effects by mix and matching the wires. And this video is a new updated version of this documentation, as well as a video guide on how to do it. So this unit is a solidex XL200. It's a video editing center. It's crap. Most of it is a video mixer I don't really care about, but there is a video enhance knob here, and this is the part we're going to mess with. You can easily find one of those on the second-hand marketplaces. Here in France I used Le Bon Coin and I found this one for less than 20 euros, I believe. And there is some of them available probably on eBay and other second-hand markets. The tools you'll need are a soldering iron, some solder wire, some capacitors, some wiring. It's better if you can have multiple colors so you can color code your bends. I don't, so I'm just going to use a little marker on this. Things to trigger your bends with. On the previous version, I used only a patch bay and some potentiometers to do some presets, but you can use whatever you want. You can use switches, potentiometers, anything you want that connects two wires together. For this one, I'm only going to do a patch bay and I'm going to use these little headers like this one to connect everything together. And later on you can even add other elements on top of this patch bay. You'll also need a CRT display to show your video and the glitches. It's better if you use a CRT. You can also use a TFT LCD screen, but this one is more resilient and it can show better while not having to mess with the synchronization of the video. You'll also need a video source to test your device and see if the glitches are working. So here I'm just going to use this CCTV camera, a Phillips screwdriver, some RCA cables to connect everything together, pliers, a wire cutter, a wire stripper, and maybe a cutter, some jumpers or alligator clips, and finally a drill to make space for your headers inside the device. So this is basically everything we'll need to get started. First, you'll need to test your device to see if it works correctly. If it does, we can open it up. To do so, we are just going to remove the 4 screws at the back, here and there. Then we're going to pry it open, like so. Here we can see the back of the device, and this is where we're going to solder directly. If I zoom in here, you'll see that this is the part where we're going to solder everything. I'll put on the screen right now the previous documentation I found on the web archive, and this one is the updated one, which I'm going to use here, and it will be also in the description. Also, for people who prefer written instructions, there will be a full documentation on my website and a link in my description. For the previous circuit bending I did, I added some potentiometers and a patch bay here. I even fucked up here. For this one, I just want to do the patch bay, so I'm going just to drill holes here and put the patch bay here. Okay, everything is connected together. We can see ourselves in the video. Now, make sure if you don't see anything, sometimes it's because the fade out is selected. So make sure to fade in. Now we are just going to carefully flip the device, like so. And now we are going to use the map I mentioned earlier to test out some bend points and see if there is some glitches that might interest us. Since there is different bend points, I'm just going to solder one at a time and use this little marker just to indicate which one I need to solder to and not get lost in the circuitry here. Now that I know which one I'm going to connect, I'm going to use this little jumper wire and just connect this to this. And here we can see on the screen there is already an interesting glitch. Also we can try and find different bend points starting from this, but be careful not to fry your unit. What you can do is refer to this awesome video from Pushkar brand where he tells you how to safe poke your devices and found interesting bend points inside them. But this device in particular is pretty resilient. I didn't fry anything while searching for bend points for the previous one, so feel free to experiment. There is almost no chips inside, it's only like capacitors and straight up resistors. So now I know that this bend point interests me, so now I'm going to just turn this off and start soldering the 2 points I've marked with the pen. While waiting for the soldering iron to heat up, make sure to do this into a well-ventilated area, and here maybe there is going to be more background noise because I activated the fan and opened the window. Now I'm just going to cut a length of this wiring. It's easier to make them longer than too short. Now I'm going to strip it, both sides, like this, and we are going to tin the ends of each wire. It will make them easier to solder directly to the board. Make sure not to burn yourself. The tip is really hot. Now we can try soldering directly to the board. And repeat the operation for the other one. Now we can turn everything back up and see if we messed up or if everything is working as intended. Here we can see the video, so we did not fry anything at least. And here if I connect those two together, you can see we have the glitch. So basically we are going to do the same operation for all the bend points, and once everything is connected together, we will solder them to this little patch bay. Okay, I've soldered some of the bends. The yellow stripes here are because some of the bends need little capacitors. All the values will be indicated in the documentation, and as you can see, shove them into the wire and solder them directly. And then I solder the other end to the board. Okay, so now everything is soldered together. Here we have all the wires. Let me zoom in. Here we have all the bend points, and you can test them and mix and match stuff together. Now I can just turn the iron off, and we're going to make the hole to place the patch bay. To know where I'm going to place it, I just use it as a template. I'm going to use something to scratch, and I'm going to leave a trace where I want it to be. Now I'm just going to drill a hole through it and use my cutter to remove the plastic from here. once this part has been destroyed and you can fit this inside, make sure you can totally like push it so it goes through, because we are going to stick it from the bottom up. Now let me just vacuum a bit. Okay, now I disconnected everything and we're going to solder all those cables to one of the pins here. To make it easier, I can just bend them a little bit so they do not touch them together. Also, if you choose like less bend points, what you can do is merge some together to get a dual output of the same bends, for example. And I will begin by soldering the input and outputs to the two first ones. Make sure the connection is strong, because otherwise it can move around and disconnect. Now I will move on to the first one. Okay, it seems we don't have any shorts, which is a miracle, I'll say. And now I'm just going to use a jumper, for example this one to this one, and here we can see we have the bends. It can be triggered like this. Now I'm just going to shove everything into the hole right here. Try to twist gently and not pull on the bends, and we will see if everything works. Alright, we're the next day. I've put everything back in its place. If I zoom in, you'll see I added a lot of little insulating stuff here so the wires don't touch together. And now I'm just going to super glue it in place. And then the hard part. I have it connected to the screen here, so I can see if I create some shorts by doing this, but there it seems to be okay. And now I'm just going to screw this back into place. Alright, and now we have it. It's a bit messy here, but the super glue is going to set. Alright, now it's time for testing. I've put the video enhancer right here, and I've hooked it up to 3 different CRTs because the glitches will also depend on the type of CRT you have. And here for the input I'm using shaders from my rack right here. Let's see different glitches and I leave you with some music and some footage.